So for today, I will discuss on Mathematics 7 Module, Quarter 1, Week 3, Absolute Value and Operations on Integers. So let's have Lesson 1, representing absolute value of a number on a number line. So let's review what's in. So in your previous lesson, you learned that the subsets of real number can be represented using a number line, wherein 0 is the center of a number line. The numbers having the same distance from 0 on the number line but are in opposite directions are called opposites. Let's check your learnings. So A, identify the opposite of the following numbers. So number 1 is 10. So for this example, the opposite of 10 is negative 10. So in here, you'll just have the opposite. So if the given is positive, you're going to have its negative. And if the given is negative, you're going to have its positive number. Then let's have what is it. So the absolute value of a number is the distance of a number from 0. So remember that distance itself is always positive. So there's no negative distance. So the absolute value of a number n is written as absolute value of n. If x is a positive integer, then the absolute value of x is x. In symbol, absolute value of x equals x if x is greater than 0. Example, absolute value of 7 is equal to 7. Since 7 is a positive integer, then the absolute value of 7 is 7. Then another example is you can have absolute value of 10. So this is a positive number, so this is equal to 10. Then for the second one, if x is equal to 0, then the absolute value of x is x. In symbol, absolute value of x is equal to x if x is equal to 0. So example, absolute value of 0 is equal to 0. Then the third one, if x is a negative integer, then the absolute value of x is the opposite of x. In symbol, absolute value of negative x is equal to x if x is less than 0. So in here, you will just have the opposite of a negative number. So for example, absolute value of negative 10 is just equal to 10. So again, you'll just have its positive or opposite. So you will just have the positive value of the given negative integer. Another example is if we're going to have absolute value of negative 8, then this will be equal to its opposite, or the positive value of negative 8 is 8. Then in writing the absolute value of a number, just write the numerical part. So the absolute value of 5 is 5 in symbol. Absolute value of 5 is equal to 5. Then the absolute value of negative 5 is 5 in symbol. Absolute value of negative 5 equals 5. Then next, let's illustrate. Represent the following absolute value of a number on a number line. So you have there given number 1, absolute value of 6. So from 0 to 6. So this is the distance from point 0 to 6. So absolute value of 6 here is equal to 6. Then absolute value of 0. So since this one is 0, so we'll just have your graph on 0. Then number 3, absolute value of negative 3. So this is from 0 to negative 3. So you'll just have an arrow from 0 to negative 3. So this is now absolute value of negative 3. So absolute value of negative 3 is 3 units. The next one is what's more. A, represent the following value of a number on a number line. So you're going to answer this one just like in the example a while ago. Then for B, give the absolute value of the following number lines. So you have there the drawing. So what you're going to do is you're going to have its absolute value. For example, number 1. So this is from 0 to 5. So this is absolute value of 5. So absolute value of 5 is equal to 5. So we're going to answer numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5. Next is what I have learned. To sum it up, let us complete the statements. Choose your answer from the box that best completes each of the statements below. So your answers are found inside the box. So you'll just apply this one to the blanks 1 to 5 in the activity. Next is what I can do. So here is another activity where you can apply what you have learned about representing absolute value of a number on a number line. So write the absolute value that represents the situation. Example here, a gain of 45 meters. So absolute value of 45 here is equal to 45. So your clue here is the given phrase. So gain, so this is positive, loss, negative, below, negative, elevation, positive, and so on. Then B, solve the following problem involving absolute value. So you have there two problems. So you're going to solve that one and write your answers on your paper. Now let's have lesson 2, addition of integers. What's in? So in the previous lesson, you have learned that the absolute value of a number is the distance of a number from 0. So let's check your learning. So give the absolute value of the following numbers. So this is just a review. Next is what's new? A, addition using number line. So use the number line to find the sum of 6 and 5. So if you have seen in the graph or in the illustration, the arrow is from 6, then you're going to count 5 units to illustrate plus 5. So 6 to 11, so from 6 you're going to count 5 units. From 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 plus 5, it falls on 11, meaning 6 plus 5 is equal to 11. Then number 2, find the sum of 7 and negative 3. So in here, you're going to start from 7. So starting point is 7 here. Then you're going to count 3 units going to the left. It's because this is negative 3. So you're going to add negative 3. So count 3 units to the left. 1, 2, 3. So it falls on 4. So 7 plus negative 3 equals 4. Next is what is it? So operation of integers can be performed using different ways. As to addition of integers, let's make use of sign tiles and the rules. So addition of integers using sign tiles. Let plus represent plus 1 and minus tile represents minus 1. Now, when we combine 1 plus with 1 minus tile, they will cancel each other. However, when we combine 1 plus tile with another plus tile, they will appear as 2 plus tiles. When we combine 1 minus tiles with another minus tile, they will appear as 2 minus tile. Let's try. Number 1. Combine 4 plus tiles and 5 plus tiles. Since the first 4 tiles are positive and the next 5 tiles are also positive, therefore they will appear as 9 tiles. In symbol, 4 plus 5 equals 9. Number 2. Combine 3 minus tiles and 4 minus tiles. Since the first 3 tiles are negative and the next 4 tiles are also negative, therefore they will appear as 7 negative tiles. So in symbol, negative 3 plus negative 4 equals negative 7. Number 3, combine 5 plus tiles and 3 minus tiles. Now, since the first 5 tiles are positive and the next 3 tiles are negative, then the 3 positive tiles and 3 negative tiles will cancel each other. So, we're going to cancel 3 positive tiles and 3 negative tiles. Therefore, the remaining will appear as 2 positive tiles. In symbol, 5 plus negative 3 equals 2. So, these are examples on how to use sign tiles in adding integers. Now, let's have addition of integers using the rules. Rule number 1. When the integers have like signs, add the numbers and copy the common sign. Example here, number 1, 8 plus 5 equals 13. So you're going to notice here that 8 is positive and 5 is also positive. So they have like signs, so add 8 and 5. Then copy the common positive sign. Therefore, the answer is positive 13 or simply 13. Number 2, negative 10 plus negative 9 equals negative 19. Notice that 10 is negative and 9 is also negative. So they have like signs. So add 10 and 9. So 10 plus 9 is 19. And you're going to copy the common sign, which is negative. So the answer will be negative 19, or in symbol, minus 19. Rule number 2. When the integers have unlike signs, subtract the numbers and use the sign of the number with the greater absolute value. So example, negative 2 plus 4 equals 2. Notice that 2 is negative while 4 is positive. They have unlike signs, so you're going to subtract 2 from 4. So you're going to have 4 minus 2, that will be 2. Then the sign of 4 is positive, so you're going to copy the sign of 4 because it has a greater absolute value. Therefore, the answer is positive 2 or simply 2. Let's do more. A, 38 plus negative 20. So you're going to subtract because they have unlike signs. So 38 minus 20 is 18. And between 38 and negative 20, 38 has a greater absolute value. So you're going to use the sign positive. So the answer here is positive 18. Letter B, negative 42 plus 16. So 42 is negative and 16 is positive. So unlike sign. So you're going to subtract 42 minus 16. So the answer here is 26. And you're going to copy the sign of the number who has a greater absolute value. So between negative 42 and 16, negative 42 has a greater absolute value. Therefore, you're going to copy the sign of negative. So your final answer will be negative 26. C, negative 14 plus 22 plus negative 16 plus 8. So what you're going to do here is you're going to combine the numbers with like signs. So you're going to have negative 14 plus negative 16. Then plus 22 plus 8. Then after this one, you're going to subtract the numbers with unlike signs. So this is negative 14 plus negative 16 equals negative 30. Then 22 plus 8 is positive 30. Then subtract because they are unlike. So negative 30 plus 30 is 0. So next activity is what's more. Add the following integers. So you have there 10 numbers. So you're going to base your answers here on the discussion that we have earlier. Next is what I have learned. So direction to sum it up. Let us complete the statements. Choose your answers from the box that best completes each of the statements below. So the items inside the box are the answers on the 5 sentences here. So we'll just fill up the blank using those items. Next is what I can do. So you have there 2 problems and you're going to solve the problems. The next lesson is subtraction of integers. What's in? So in your previous lesson, you have learned how to add integers. So there are rules you need to follow. 1. When the signs are the same, add and keep the sign. 2. When the signs are different, subtract and use the sign of the number with a greater absolute value. So make it a try. Add the following integers. So there are 4 numbers, so kindly answer. So this is just a sort of review. So next is what's new. So fill the blanks with the correct number that will make it exact. So let's have number 1 as our example. Blank minus negative 10 equals 42. So if we're going to find a number that will make the equation true, that will be 32. So the answer here should be 32. So 32 minus negative 10. So this is negative of negative 10. It will become positive 10. So 32 plus 10 is equal to 42. So just answer numbers 2, 3, and 4. Next is what is it? So subtraction rule. To subtract two integers, add the opposite or additive inverse of the subtrahend to the minuend. That is, if a and b are any two integers, then a minus b equals a plus negative b. Then follow the rules for the addition of integers. So number 1, keep change, or KCC. So keep the first integer the same. Then next, change the subtraction sign to addition. Then last, change the sign of the second integer. Then number 2, follow the rules for addition. When the signs are the same or like sign, add and keep the sign. When the signs are different or unlike sign, subtract and copy the sign of the number with a greater absolute value. So recall here that positive tile represents plus 1, negative tile represents negative 1. And if we're going to have positive tile minus negative tile, it will cancel each other. So the answer is equal to 0. So examples here. Number 1, 7 minus 3. So you're going to have 7 positive tiles. Then you're going to change the negative sign as positive. And you're going to change the sign of 3. So from 3, make this one negative 3. So 3 negative tiles. Then follow rules for addition. So since unlike sign, subtract the integers, then copy the sign of the number with a greater absolute value. So you're going to cancel 3 positive tiles and 3 negative tiles. So the remaining tiles will be 4 positive tiles. So 7 minus 3 is equivalent to 4. Then number 2, 4 minus 5. So you're going to have 4 positive tiles. Then you're going to change sign minus to plus or positive. So 4 plus. Then you're going to change the sign of 5 here. So you're going to have 5 as negative 5. So you're going to have 5 negative tiles. Then follow the rules for addition. So you're going to cancel 4 positive tiles and 4 negative tiles. And the remaining here is 1 negative tile. So the answer here is negative 1. So 4 minus 5 equals negative 1. Then number 3 is 2 minus negative 4. So you're going to keep 2 positive tiles. Then you're going to change the minus sign to positive sign. So 2 tiles plus. Then you're going to change the second integer. So negative 4. You are going to change this one to positive 4. So you have there 4 positive tiles. So the answer here is 2 positive tiles plus 4 positive tiles equals 6 positive tiles. So the answer here is 6. 2 minus negative 4 equals 6. Number 4, negative 3 minus 5 equals blank. So keep negative 3, 3 negative tiles, then change negative to positive. So negative 3 plus, then change 5 to negative 5. So you have there 5 negative tiles here. Then follow the rules for addition. So you have 3 negative tiles plus 5 negative tiles. So total is 8 negative tiles. So negative 3 minus 5 equals negative 8. Then number 5, negative 5 minus negative 2. So keep negative 5. So 5 negative tiles. Change negative or minus sign to plus. Then negative 2, change that one to 2 positive tiles. So negative 5 plus 2. Then follow the rules for addition. Cancel 2 negative tiles and 2 positive tiles. So the remaining is negative 3. So 3 negative tiles. So negative 5 minus negative 2 is equal to negative 3. Then number 6, find the difference in altitude between a mountain 3,900 feet high and a valley 785 feet below sea level. So for the solution, land that is below sea level is considered to have negative altitude. Hence, the valley is said to have an altitude of negative 785 feet. The difference in altitudes between the mountain and the valley is found by subtracting negative 785 feet from 3,900 feet. So, in symbol, this will be 3,900 feet minus negative 785 feet. Then, you're going to keep 3,900 feet. Change minus sign to plus. Then, you're going to change the sign of negative 785 to positive 785. So, you're going to have 3,985 plus 785. So, the answer here is 4,685 feet. Then, what's more? Activity. A. Subtract the following integers. So, again, you're going to base this one in our discussion earlier. B. Find the missing number in each subtraction sentence. So, you're going to supply here a number that can make the equation true. So, let's have example number 1. Blank minus negative 5 equals negative 9. So, what number are we going to supply here? So, the answer here will be negative 14. Negative 14 minus negative 5 is equal to negative 9. So, we're going to answer 2, 3, 4, and 5. Next is what I have learned. So, to sum it up, let us complete the statements. Choose your answer from the box that best completes each of the statements below. So, you have there the items inside the box. Just select from the items in order to answer numbers 1 to 5. Then what I can do, here is another activity that lets you apply what you learned about subtracting integers by doing the following operations. So you have here 2 problems. So you're going to solve this one applying subtraction of integers. Lesson 4 is multiplication of integers. What's in? We will learn about the multiplicand and multiplier. So the number to be multiplied is called the multiplicand. The number with which we multiply is called the multiplier. So the numbers to be multiplied are called factors. So example, multiply 20 by 2. So 20 is the multiplicand, 2 is the multiplier, and the result 40 is the product. Then 20 and 2 here are called as factors. Then what's new? Consider the given number patterns, then copy and complete the multiplication table. So this activity is just completing the multiplication table. So you need to fill up the missing table for your answer. Next is what is it? We learned that with whole numbers, multiplication is repeated addition. Now let us start our discussion on the rules in multiplying integers. So rules in multiplying integers. Number 1, when you multiply two numbers with the same sign, the product is positive. So plus times plus equals plus positive. Minus times minus or negative times negative equals positive. Number 2, when you multiply two numbers with different signs, the product is negative. So positive times negative is negative. The same with negative times positive, it is also negative. Number 3, any number multiplied by 0 gives a product of 0. So 0 times any number equals 0. Any number times 0 equals 0. The following examples illustrate further how integers are multiplied. Example 1, multiply 6 times 9. So solution, 6 times 9 equals 54. So the product is positive because the sign of the factors are the same. Number 2, multiply negative 7 times negative 6. So they have the same sign. So the solution here is equal to 42. Again, if we are going to multiply like signs, the result is always positive. Example 3, multiply negative 8 times 5. So they are unlike, so the result or the product should be a negative answer. So negative 8 times 5 equals negative 40. Example 4, 5 times negative 2. Again, they are different sign or unlike signs, so the answer here will be a negative number, negative 10. Then example number 5, multiply 0 times 10. So any number multiplied to 0 is equal to 0. Therefore, the answer here will be equal to 0. So activity here, what's more? A, find the product of the following integers. So base your answers here on what we have discussed earlier. Then letter B, write the missing factor in the blank to complete each sentence. So let's have number 1 as our example. Negative 3 times blank equals negative 15. Since the answer here is, or the product here is negative 15 and the given factor is negative, so negative times positive is negative. Therefore, our answer should be positive. So our answer here should be 5. Negative 3 times 5 equals negative 15. So kindly do or answer numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then what I have learned, so you'll just fill in the blank to make a true statement. Then for the next activity, what I can do, you will just solve the problems here applying multiplication of integers. Next is division of integers. What's in? So quotient, this is the answer when we divide. Dividend, this is the number being divided. Divisor, the number being divided into something. So for example, 20 divided by 4 equals 5. Dividend is 20. 4 is the divisor, the one that divides. 5 here is the quotient. Then what's new? Answer the following questions. Number 1, what is 51 divided by 3? Then number 2, what is negative 51 divided by 3, and so on. So just try to answer that one. Now let's have the rules in dividing integers. So when two numbers with the same sign are divided, the quotient is always positive. So this is just the same with multiplication of integers. If we're going to multiply like sign, the answer should be positive. So the same with dividing integers. If you are going to divide like signs, the answer should always be equal to positive number. And when two numbers with different signs are divided, the quotient is always negative. Again, the same with multiplication of integers. Then number 3, the rules for dividing 0 by a non-zero number and for division by 0 still hold. So if 0 divided by non-zero number, it is equal to 0, but any number divided by 0 equals undefined. So if the denominator or the divisor is 0, automatically it is undefined. Example number 1, find the quotient of 45 divided by 5. So the two are positive. So 45 divided by 5, that is equal to 9. So positive 9. Example 2, find the quotient of negative 51 divided by negative 3. So since the two are like sign, so we are going to have a positive answer. So 51 divided by 3 equals 17. So our answer here is positive 17 or 17. Again, negative divided by negative is a positive answer. 3. What is negative 57 divided by 19? So this is negative divided by positive. So our answer here should be equal to negative. So since 19 times 3 is 57, hence 19 times negative 3 equals negative 57. Therefore, negative 57 divided by 19 equals negative 3. Number 4, show why 273 divided by negative 21 equals negative 13. So for our solution, negative 13 times negative 21 is equal to 273. Then 273 divided by negative 21 equals negative 13. So again, positive divided by negative or division of unlike sign results to a negative value. Example number 5, Tom played golf at an amusement park. His scores on the first 5 holes were negative 1, positive 1, negative 2, negative 1, and negative 2. What was his mean or average scores for these holes? So to find the mean, divide the total score by the number of holes. So you're going to add the 5 scores divided by 5. So adding here, negative 1 plus 1 is 0. Then negative 2 plus negative 1 is negative 3. Plus negative 2 is negative 5. So you're going to have negative 5 over 5. So negative divided by positive. So the answer here is negative 1. So Tom's mean score for the first 5 holes was negative 1. What's more? A, find each quotient. So you're going to answer this one based on our discussion earlier. Then letter B, write the missing number in its given fractions. So number 1, let's have this one as our example. 42 divided by blank equals negative 2. So what will be the answer here? Now, since the answer is negative 2, it means that the denominator should be a negative number because 42 is positive divided by a negative will result to a negative number. So the answer here will be negative 21. So 42 divided by negative 21 equals negative 2. So just continue answering numbers 2 to 5. Then what I have learned, fill in the blank to make each statement true. So just answer the 5 numbers here. Then what I can do. So you're going to solve 2 problems here using division of integers. So just apply what you have learned on division of integers. Then the last one is you're going to answer assessment. So there are 15 numbers. So kindly apply what you have learned on absolute value and operations on integers. We still have additional activities. Who is the father of algebra? So to find the answer, perform the indicated operation of the following and write the letter of the problems in the box corresponding to the given equation. So the numbers above here are the answers. So you will just put the letters below with regards to the corresponding answers. For example, we have here I, negative or absolute value of negative 5 plus 3. So negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. Then absolute value of negative 2 is 2. So you're going to have your answer here 2. So you're going to have here I. So that's it for this video. So thank you and good day.